So like it, love it, hate it, the dating apps are here to stay. So today we're going to talk about the pros and the cons of online dating apps. Stay tuned. Hello, this is Leo, aka One Happy Widow, and today we're going to talk about online dating and online dating apps. So there are plenty of pros and cons to talk about. So today I'm just going to kind of list some of the things, and you can sort of take it with a grain of salt and maybe just think about it if you're thinking about entering into the dating game. One of the most common ways for people to date is to go on the online apps, because with pandemic, quarantine, busy lives, work, people not wanting to go to bars and meet people and things like that, one of the ways that people can try to meet people is through the dating apps. There are lots of pros, there are also lots of cons, so I'm just going to talk about some of those and make a list today. So let's start with the pros. Some of the good things about dating apps. I will go ahead and tell you that I am a fan of the dating apps. I did find my current husband on a dating app, and so I'm here to tell you that you can find decent people on the dating apps. I'm not saying it's easy, I'm not saying it was really fun, but I am saying that it is possible to find somebody through a dating app, and I have had success that way. So I'm a fan, although I do know that there are lots of cons, and so I'm going to talk about both sides. So let's start with the pros. First of all, it's convenience. You can go on the dating apps from the comfort of your own home, and you don't even have to really enter into the dating world fully. You can just go on the apps. Some of them you don't even have to create a profile yet. You can just kind of look on there and see, what it's like. Or you could make your profile and you can make it to where it's not visible yet, and you can sort of test the waters and just see what's out there before you actually enter into the dating world. With dating apps, there are a huge number of possible partners or suitors. Depending on what kind of net you cast, you could, if you looked worldwide or if you looked even nationwide, there are all kinds of people that you could find to possibly match up with. And depending on what your preferences are, if you're willing to relocate or to meet somebody that might be long distance, then that even opens up more opportunities to meet people that you might not otherwise ever run into, somebody from a different state, maybe even somebody from a different country. And so it does open up your options a lot. While you're searching on the dating apps, you don't really have to worry about getting your hair fixed, putting on your makeup, getting dressed up, going out to try to meet somebody, and then maybe going and coming back home and have wasted a whole night. Money, time, travel, dressing up, all that stuff, never even meeting anybody. So this way you can do this from the comfort of your own home. You don't really have to get dressed up. As long as you have your pictures on your profile, you can just sort of swipe at your leisure. In addition, if you have insecurities, a lot of times those can be reduced by going online, because you can show the best side of yourself. You can put the best pictures of yourself up there and maybe show yourself in the best light that you can. You don't want to put pictures up there that are 10 years old. You don't want to put pictures up there that are 50 pounds ago. You want to be honest about, accurate, but you can choose pictures that show yourself in your best light. Also, when you're in the comfort of your own home and you're maybe chatting or connecting with people that you are meeting on these dating apps, you are maybe more relaxed because you are in your own home, and so you feel safe. Also, you know that that person doesn't know where you are, doesn't know where you live, and if it turns out to be somebody that you don't really want to have anything to do with, then you're safe. You don't have to worry about them following you home or knowing what you're driving or anything like that. Another convenience is that you can check the dating apps from anywhere. If you have an extra 5 minutes, you can take your phone out, you can look up on your dating app, you can just swipe through, see if anybody new has come up, you have matched with anybody. So basically you can just pull your phone out anytime you want to and take a look and see, if there's anybody on there that you might want to message or reach out to. Also with the dating apps, there's less of a chance of fear of rejection. And even the rejection that you might get, it just doesn't seem as personal. If you're talking to somebody and you're trying to maybe get to know them or get their number or ask them out on a date in person, it's really tough to get rejected right there face to face. But if somebody rejects you on a screen and it's not somebody that you even have met in person yet, and they just say, you know what, I'm not interested, or I don't think we're a match, or no thanks, it's not really as devastating or as embarrassing for that to happen on the screen as it is if it would be in person. In addition, it's kind of easier to reject someone. If somebody comes up to you, have you ever been in a bar and you see some guy, he's starting to walk over, he's been giving you the eye, and he starts walking over your way, and you think, oh no, and it's not somebody you would be interested in, and you think, oh, he's gonna ask me to dance and I don't really want to, and then you have to figure out what your excuse is to kind of reject him, and you kind of feel bad about that. You don't have to really worry about that as much on dating apps. You can just say, I'm really sorry, but I don't think we're a good match. And just be polite about it, be very matter of fact, move on to the next person. The dating apps are better geared for maybe introverts, people who are not as outgoing, who maybe get more nervous or shy in public around other people and don't really know how to start a conversation, or might feel awkward when they're talking to somebody they don't know for the first time. It might be a little easier to reach out to somebody on a dating app. The one thing that I liked when I was on the dating apps, when I had conversations, was that I did not have to think of comebacks or funny things or witty things to say on the fly. I could take a few minutes and think about it and come up with something clever to say and then text back. So it kind of gave me a little bit of time to prepare my responses. When you're talking to somebody in person, you have to think of things like real quick on the fly. And so it's sometimes when you get nervous, it's harder to think of things to say really quickly. And so it's not quite as awkward when you're maybe texting or messaging back and forth with somebody on a dating app. Also, dating apps could be time savers. The number of people that you could contact or connect with on the different dating apps, you could be, talking to several different people at the same time, and kind of getting the first getting to know you messages out of the way before you get to that point where you feel like you want to meet them in person, or you want to maybe talk on the phone, or you want to start texting more personally. You can talk to several people, and then as you find that you are more interested in some and less interested in others, you can sort of weed them out. So it could be a really good time saver for you. When you're out and about, you're just going to talk to one person at a time, and that person might be taking up all of your attention, and they might sit with you for the rest of the night, and you might not end up liking them, and then you've spent the whole night trying to find someone to connect with, and you ended up not connecting with somebody that took up the whole time. With the dating apps, you can also meet lots of interesting people. I found that it was kind of amazing at the different types of people that I kind of came across in the dating apps. Sometimes I knew right away that I did not want to really meet them in person, or that I did not have a connection with them, but still it's kind of interesting sometimes to just hear about people's lives, or talk to them about their interests or their music or their jobs, or what kind of living arrangements they had, and it's kind of cool to meet other different kinds of people, or hear about other different kinds of lifestyles that people lead, even if it didn't turn out to be a match for me, and even if I knew I did not really want to meet them. It was kind of interesting to meet different people from different walks of life that you may not run into in person, because you kind of tend to run around with the same group of people, or people with like jobs, or people with like interests, that you might not run into other people who go to different kinds of concerts, or they have different interests, or they have different hobbies, or things like that. The one thing that I liked the most, I think, about the dating apps were that you can filter your preferences, and you can basically special order the type of person that you're looking for. That doesn't always work, but it does narrow it down. You can put on the filters, and so I would put the filters of the age, the age range of people that I was looking for, the educational level of the people that I was looking for, the place for them to live. I did not want to move. I was not interested in a long distance relationship. I was not interested in finding somebody way out there, because I did not want to maybe fall in love with somebody and then not be able to be with them because I didn't want to move and they didn't want to move. And then when it really came down to the very last tail end of my search, when I felt like I had exhausted just about every person out there on all the dating apps, I finally decided that I wanted to find somebody who was widowed like me. And so I basically filtered all the way down to the same age group that I had been looking at, the same educational level, the same area that I was living in. And then I went ahead and filtered it to only widowed people. And when I did that on this one app that I was using the most, it turned out that it only had 3 men left. There were 3 men that came up on my search when I filtered all of that stuff out. And lo and behold, one of them ended up being my husband. And so it worked for me. There wasn't very many to choose from, but the ones that I had to choose from were the most likely to match what I was looking for. And so instead of casting that really wide net, I cast a really, really small one. And then I found the guy that I ended up marrying by doing that. I'll go ahead and let you know that my late husband, when I met him, it was in 1998, I believe. That was way before apps. That was way before smartphones. That was way before dating online was a thing, but the internet was a thing, and chat rooms or chat groups or Yahoo chat rooms or some things like that were a thing. And believe it or not, I actually met my late husband in 1998 online, pre-dating app, but I did meet him that way. And so basically I met 2 of my husbands by meeting them online on the computer. But back then it was very taboo. You didn't really want to tell anybody that you met online because it was kind of a seedy thing, or it had a really bad connotation. And so even after we met and we got together, for the longest time, we did not tell our friends and family that we met online. We told them we met at the grocery store, and we just left it at that. Later on, way later on, when it became a little bit more common, we finally told people, yeah, we met online, isn't that funny? But now it's a little more socially acceptable. Like, tons of people go on the dating apps. It's not really a big deal for, when you hear about people who met on dating apps, people don't even bat an eye anymore. It's not really a surprise. Now, you meet a lot of weird people and a lot of questionable people on the dating apps. There's a lot of scammers and spammers and bots and fakes and that kind of thing. But when you actually do meet somebody and you tell them that you met them online, it's not really a surprise to people. Also, like I said, you can filter your searches, and so you can pretty much put what you're looking for in special order, who you're trying to find. And sometimes people will fall through those filters because they are not really honest about how they really are, but at least you got a fighting chance, to kind of narrow that search down. And I think one of the other good pros about online dating is that you can kind of put your toes in the water and kind of feel things out without actually committing. You can go out there and explore and, see who's out there, maybe try to make a couple connections, maybe chat with a few people. And then if you figure that, this is not for me, I'm not meeting anybody that I'm interested in, I'm not really feeling like I'm ready to date, maybe I've changed my mind or things like that, you can get out of it just as easily as you get into it. You can go there for a while and see if you can meet a few people, and then you can take a break, and just step away from it for a while. So it's basically at your own pace. And so it's really nice to be able to put that into your own schedule and make it convenient for however you would like to do it. For me, I really wanted to search for someone. I didn't want to just kind of dabble, and so it kind of became a part-time job for me. I was like searching because I knew I was going to have to find a needle in a haystack. I knew I was going to have to kiss a lot of frogs before I found my prince, and so I knew that I was going to have to talk to a lot of people and eliminate a lot of prospects before I actually found the person that I wanted to be with. And so I kind of made it my mission, and I stayed pretty busy on the apps. A lot of the times I was kind of on there. Every time I had a few minutes, I was swiping through the apps and just seeing, who was out there.